I guess I'll start. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everyday with Zach Jose. I'm your host, Zach Jose, and today I have two great guests. Would you like to introduce yourself? Chris, you first.
Hi, I'm Chris. I work with Zach.
I'm Jordan. I also work with Zach.
Yeah, as you know, we're on the podcast today, and we have a couple of great topics that we're gonna cover today. But I mean, I guess we should start with like the talk about what's up.
Sure.
How's it going? How's your day going? What'd you do?
Pretty good. I just babysat my friend's children for the morning.
It's fun.
So,
I played video games and some errands, and I've been recently working on my costume for the Blue Spirit. I want to make sure and do a good job on that for Halloween, so I'm getting a really big head start on it.
That sounds awesome. I mean, what I've seen so far is already been awesome. You're just about done with the mask, so
I am done with the mask now. I've got a black cloth mask that I wear underneath the mouth so that my mouth doesn't show.
mhm.
And I'm currently working on the swords and the sheath.
Cool. That's awesome. I mean, okay, well, with the Blue Spirit, do you just want to jump into it? One of our big topics we're going to be talking about today is Avatar. So, I mean, it sounded to me like you guys had a lot to say about it. What's up? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I'd like to preface this by saying I have not seen all of it. I'm halfway through book 2.
Okay.
I've gotten to the part where the gang has defeated the drill and Zuko and Iroh have made it to Bossing Say, and Jet is suspicious of them.
Yeah. That's a good that's I think that part is when Avatar became like a real show to me personally. So, this is good and good. I'm excited for you, Chris. What do you think, Jordan?
you.
well, I know that when I watched Avatar, like I first watched pieces of it when it first came out and it was airing on Nickelodeon. So I never watched the entire series altogether. But then recently when it came out on Netflix, like for a week I just binge watched the entire series and I ended up liking it way more than when it first aired.
So my first experience with Avatar was on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, and I'm using that word specifically.
Okay.
Because I had first heard of Avatar and I thought, hey, that show looks kind of neat. Maybe I'll watch it. But we didn't have cable, or DirecTV or any of that. So, and the fact that it wasn't on Netflix or Hulu or anything like that, and I could not watch it. So one day my parents are like, hey, Chris, let's go out. We're going to watch a movie in the movie theater. I thought, oh, cool. So we ended up seeing the M. Night Shyamalan live action Avatar movie. And you know what? I liked it because I was 7 and I had no idea what was good or bad in this world.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of watching it again and doing like a I don't know. But I'm thinking of watching it again and doing like a double take and see like why did I like it? Was
Yeah.
it just because I had seen it before with no context? I think that it's because I had no context to base it off of. For example, a lot of my friends who were not into anime saw the live action Death Note movie when it came out on Netflix, and
Oh,
um, they had not seen the series, and they thought, "Hey, that's a pretty cool premise. It was really weird." And I said, "Okay, if you liked the premise, watch this show, which did it 1,000 times better." I never call Death Note an anime because that turns a lot of people off. They're like, ooh, anime, whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
no, I'm with you.
but whenever I'm trying to recommend an anime to someone, I say, hey, watch this show called Death Note. It's really good and talks about like some philosophical stuff, and we can get to that later. A lot of people had the same experience with Death Note as I did with Avatar.
Interesting.
So
Yeah, and then
also, I was 7 and I don't remember a dang thing about the movie.
I mean, as a 7-year-old, you watch a lot of movies, and so they're all fun,
Yeah.
especially when you get to go with your parents and enjoy a night out. So I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, finally having purchased the box set, and I will say I did purchase the box set
mhm.
1 week after it was all released on Netflix. Why? Because I want the authentic experience.
Did they censor anything in the Netflix ones?
Oh, they did not, but I just wanted the authentic experience of watching it like so many people did before it was on Netflix, but after it finished airing on Nickelodeon.
Okay.
Because it was like that for a long time. It
Yeah.
finished airing on Nickelodeon and it wasn't on any streaming service, and the only way you could do it was to pick up the box set for like $30. So I did that. I saved up some tips from one of my jobs and went ahead and picked it up and have not been disappointed. It's been an absolute trip. I love it. Um, it's great. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Yeah. No, that's a phenomenal show. What's your take, Jordan?
That yeah. Go ahead.
On what
Or just like
exactly?
just in general, like I mean, okay, Chris just gave it a 10 out of 10. How would you
Yeah.
review Avatar?
I would review it as a 10 out of 10, but if we were including the movie, that
Hmm.
would bump it down to a 6 out of 10 just purely because of the movie.
Jeez.
Um, Zach, I
That's
was talking
how
to
much I hate that movie. I tried rewatching it and I did not get 30 minutes into it.
I mentioned this earlier before you got on, Zach,
Uh-huh.
but there's been a petition going around online to have Netflix, because Netflix is doing their live action series of Avatar,
Yeah. Oh, that's going to
and
be exciting.
that's going to be exciting. I'm cautiously optimistic because Netflix was behind the live action Death Note. Um, so I'm cautiously optimistic, but there's a petition going around to have them hire the original cast of the M. Night Shyamalan movie as the Ember Island players.
That'd be awesome.
That would be.
Um, and I'm personally hoping. I was personally hoping that they hired Dwayne Johnson to play Toph in that episode. Jordan brought up a good point that he should play the boulder.
Yeah. Like, just imagine Dwayne just staring into the camera, just saying, the boulder feels conflicted.
As for casting choices, I don't know who I would cast specifically in the movie. Um, I'm not too savvy with like actors and stuff. But I do have to say that they should get Dave Filoni back in the director's chair for the live action series.
Yeah. I I
I
can I
know
can agree
for
with that.
the I know for the live action series, they're having the original creators of Avatar behind the driver's seat for the live action.
It makes
And
me happy.
and since they're going to be a little longer episodes, they can put more lore into the episode. And since I'm pretty sure they're not on a bi-season contract, they could add a fourth season that takes place after the fight with Ozai and Zuko's coronation.
That would be cool. Um,
Because the
what?
comment the comics go after that, and a lot of people were hoping that would expand on the comics later on.
It's like Star Wars: The Clone Wars, also directed by Dave Filoni. But they have enough stuff that they could make 2 full seasons after the end of the latest season. Amazing. But I did want to go back real quick
Yeah.
to the point I made about Avatar being a 10 out of 10, which is
That's kind
something
of a high
that
score. Talk to us about that.
specifically for a children's show, not a lot of children's shows, in my opinion, have that. And that's mainly because of the medium that they are. Um, because a lot of them seem like too pandering or too like cookie cutter, clean, good versus bad, and stuff like that. And I think the one quote that solidified this was the giant owl in the library who said, "You are not the first to think that your war was justified." Because that's something that no children's show, aside from one, which I love and Jordan hates, um, have I seen talked about before. Um, that show also got a 10 out of 10 for me after season 2. And that was The Dragon Prince. Also made by a bunch of people who worked on the original Avatar. And in my opinion, from what I've seen of Korra, I haven't seen the show yet. I'm going to. From what I have seen, that show carries the spirit of Avatar better than Korra did. And the only problem that keeps it from getting 10 out of 10 for all 3 seasons has been that season 1 had a really low frame rate, which they bumped up in season 2.
Wow. Okay. So now what?
Um, if that's all
Well,
for Avatar, unless Jordan has something, are we
I
gonna go on to Death Note?
I have one thing to say about Korra. That, in my opinion, I loved Korra, and I think the premise behind it was not to be another kid show like The Last Airbender was. It was supposed to capture the audience that had watched The Last Airbender as a child, and they kind of matured the show along with their audience that they had matured in life. So they brought more
Hmm,
mature topics like romance and dictatorships
yeah,
to an even more extent in Korra.
what I've seen, it was a lot like Boruto's dad's son, continuing on the mantle.
Wait, Chris, you're not
Uh,
even done with book 2. You can't talk about Korra. What the heck?
from what I've seen of it, it was supposed to Korra was supposed to capture 2 things from a logistical standpoint. It was supposed to keep the original fan base engaged while also drawing in a newer fan base of people who maybe didn't watch the original, like Naruto and Naruto, or like Halo 4 and the good ones. Um, but yeah, I obviously don't have too much to say about that because finished I haven't finished Avatar yet.
Yeah.
I am going to watch Korra.
So
I'm
here's
not stopping at Avatar.
here's what I'll say to you. If you watch, Legend of Korra, um, kind of like to fill the hole that's in your heart after you finish Avatar, like The Last Airbender, I think you're gonna have a little bit of a rough time. They're two shows set in the same universe, but they're two uniquely different shows, right? Korra's set in
Like
sort of a.
Fire Force and Soul Eater.
Sorry, what'd you say? I didn't hear that.
It's like Fire Force and Soul Eater.
I
Fire Force was made by the same people who made Soul Eater, by the same mangaka and studio. Very different and just nothing has captured Soul Eater for me. But yeah, I know what you're saying there. So you should look at or as more of a continuation to Avatar instead of something to fill the void of Avatar.
Well, yeah, but more than that, I just think that it tackles different things.
Yeah,
It shows it in with the Fire Nation in the first 3 books of the Last Airbender, how there's danger in improvisation, not in improvisation, but like in capitalism, in ruthless engineering. You know, how are the machines the bad guys when it's what propels humanity forward? And Korra continues that, right? And then they have the pro benders and they have the first Avatar. They go into depth with his story, and they just overall have like a deeper mythology. You know, of course, there's times where Korra will hop into the Avatar state and lose, which doesn't make any sense at all. But I still think it's a great show, regardless of it not being the last Airbender. That's what I'll say about that. But
so
yeah,
you saying specifically it goes in Dipper with the first Avatar. That reminds me of another amazing show, Gravity Falls.
Oh
And are we getting another season of that? Maybe a
yes.
continuation or a live action
Oh
series.
my gosh.
Okay.
Also, wait, no, I do have one casting choice for the live action Avatar.
Morgan Freeman
Uncle
as Dipper.
Uncle Iroh. Uncle Iroh has got to be Danny DeVito.
Yes.
No one can
Yeah.
convince me otherwise.
Yes. Okay.
Seeing how he was in Manji the Next Level, and say what you want about that movie, Danny DeVito proved that he can do a serious role in a lighthearted show. And Uncle Iroh has very many lighthearted moments, but then he also has moments that make you like legitimately tear up and start crying.
Like, that's the reason why Tales of Bossing Say is one of my favorite episodes, is because of Iroh. In
Yeah,
that moment
Have you
that he
watched
has
that, Chris?
commemorating his
Come
son's
on.
I
birthday.
have not gotten there yet,
Okay.
but I know what it's about.
Stop
And
talking about how much this show affects you if you haven't seen it.
fine.
Okay. Um.
Show that does affect me,
Yes.
Gravity Falls, affects me in a different way by making me go out and do stupid stuff to try and uncover conspiracies that don't exist.
Yeah. Like
I just want my journals, man.
why do so many people on death row die all the time? Oh my gosh. Whoa. Hey, ruthless segue into Death Note. Yo.
No,
Death Note. The story
figures are
about
weird.
the kid who killed the world or something like that. Um. Yeah. Let's
He
talk about
tried
that.
to, and then got killed by his own hubris.
I
So
mean,
we're all finished with the show, right?
yeah.
Yes, we've all finished the show. Has anyone else seen the Relight movies?
Relight. No, I can't say that I have. Is that like a
Those are
spin-off?
Are those the actual live
those are
action
the
Death Note movies that were
oh
made by the Japanese creators? Right?
no.
Oh, no?
Those
Okay.
are animated recap movies where Ryuk is telling the story of the Death Note to a new Shinigami. And the new
Wait.
Shinigami is bored and wants to go back, and a lot of people think that it's Light. Because he wears a lot of the same clothes that Light wore,
Mm-hmm.
such as like a brown jacket and a red scarf
Mm-hmm.
instead of Light's brown uniform and red tie.
Interesting.
Oh my
I haven't
god.
personally seen those, but they look really good. I'm gonna try and find them.
Okay, Chris, can we
Uh,
talk about stuff that we have seen from now on?
yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry, just want to. So I personally have never watched Death Note. I'm gonna put that out there. I read the books. I rented them from my library growing up, and I read them I think in 3rd grade to pass the time. So it's been a while, but I finished it I think around 7th when like the final books were coming out. Or shoot, no,
Yeah,
they've already been
it's a
out.
long series.
13 books.
Um,
It's half the size of Full Metal Alchemist and about a quarter, less than a quarter the size of Naruto. So, I mean,
um,
whatever.
so I haven't read the manga, so maybe we can like differentiate some of the things that happened in the anime from the manga.
I'm sure it's pretty much
Um,
one to one, but yeah.
yeah, it from what I've heard of people, it's a really faithful adaptation. I wouldn't know. Um, so of the anime, this is one of the ones that solidified me actually enjoying anime as something more than Sword Art Online, which I have a lot of feelings about, most of them conflicting. Um, Death Note was really, really good all around, and I will still always remember um, one time. So I told Jensen about this show, one of my friends, and he said, dude, that show sounds stupid. It's got like one of the dumbest premises, like, oh, it kills a guy with a notebook. Then about 3 weeks later, he calls me in a panic, freaking out about one of the scenes, specifically the one where Light's dad has him and Misa in the
Oh
backseat of his
god.
car, um,
No.
and
No.
is about to shoot both of them. Or he's about to shoot Light and then himself in order to prove Light's innocence. Um, and he's calling me like, Chris, what the heck is going on? This show, what is this twist? What's going on? Like, I thought you said this show sounded stupid. He's like, shut up. I need to know what's going on.
It's a good
Uh,
show.
it's a great show.
So, what do you think makes
Um,
it so good? I mean, it's about a killer. It's about someone who kills people, but it's so gripping. Where does that come from?
I think the reason why a lot of people end up liking it is because he has this idea to make the world end up being a better place, but he goes at the problem in a wrong way.
Yeah.
That's
I think it is primarily a philosophical thing like that. Um, and one thing that I've noticed, because I watched the show when I was in maybe fifth grade or sixth grade, like right when it started getting like blown up on Netflix, and everyone's all like, "Hey, Netflix recommends Death Note. You should check it out." Netflix is like, "We recommend Death Note," and so I figured, okay, I'll see what it's about. Um, and back then, I found myself siding with Light throughout most of it. I'm like, yeah, he's making the world a better place. He's cleaning up the garbage.
Yeah.
But now I've actually picked up the Blu-ray of it and have been rewatching it. And um, when I finished my rewatch, I'm like, dang, Light was just a really petty jerk.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my
like
gosh.
it does play off of the morality where you know that if you had the power to kill someone, you would use it. Like a lot of people will say like, "Oh no, I would never." Put yourself in his situation. His dad is a detective who works like 70 hours a week to try and catch criminals. Um, and they always get away, or they all is always just one step away, and then he loses it. Your Light has this instant solve the problem. If you were in that position, you would use it. Or a lot of other, it offered a lot of other things. Like Misa used it for love, Kira used it for money, and the other one, and the fourth guy used it to appease his god. Um,
Yeah.
Also,
So,
another thing that I think makes it great is the dub. Dub is really good. That's not something you can say about a lot of anime.
um, I don't know. I think a lot of anime dubs are good, but that is besides the point. I think Death Note, the reason I think it's so good is you touched on it, it's the morality, aspect. Everyone's heard of the trolley problem. Would you divert a trolley to save 5 people, but put it indirectly at the path of one person. It's kind of the idea of like the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. When Light starts off using his death note, he only kills people who are on death row, people who were going to die anyways. And that starts to, make a ripple in society, and people start to act better. Doctor
Didn't
Doom in the Marvel comics, he in a couple universes he overtakes the world, and that's the most beneficial, side of the universe to be on, because under his rule, Earth can like grow and fluctuate and become a better society. But in every single instance when that's the case, with Light ruling or with you moving that trolley or Doctor Doom, there's the sacrifice. There's a cost, and that falls on someone's conscience. When Light does this, he thinks he's right, and mathematically he is, but like morally, is he? And the way the show goes at this is done so well. So I think that's what draws me in.
Jordan, do you have anything?
Well, literally, like one of my favorite scenes from that movie is when he stages the bus hijacking to
Yes, that's
kill
my
the
favorite as well.
FBI agents that were sent after him by L.
That's another thing that I like, because in a lot of anime, it's like stuff happens. Why? Because the story needed it to. But with this, they're like, yes, the story needed Light to figure out who the FBI agents were. Then they figured out the smartest and cleverest way that he could do it. And then they staged they added just a little bit of hubris that led to Light being suspected even more by L, by having him decide, oh, I want to watch this happen in person, instead of just staging it indirectly, specifically on the train
Mm-hmm.
where he kills the other agents. Um, and that brings me to one last point that I want to make, because I've been talking a lot and I don't want to hog the show. But show has a very big theme of the ends justifying the means,
Yeah.
where he wants to create this new world, and Matsui, the most Chad character in the show,
Yes. Yes.
he's a lad. Okay, it could go on for hours about Matsui. He says, "Hey, I'm not defending Hira or anything, but crime rates worldwide have drastically dipped. A lot,
Yeah.
very few people have, like, he is getting results. Um, and the results are purely beneficial. Uh, it's the process that's spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings me to to uh Light is willing to go innocent FBI agents who are trying to bring him to justice, um in order to uh in the oh so famous potato scene, the only person he kills is like a purse snatcher, and some guy who went over on a parking ticket or something like that. Two very petty crimes
Mm-hmm.
in order to throw the police off of his trail. Crimes that wouldn't even give someone jail time, like in America at least, but would maybe give them community service or just a really big ticket. Um, and another thing, the Japanese justice system is screwed. Like, I believe the official rate is, I'm gonna
It's
look
like
this up.
it's
It's
like
like
95 conviction rate.
like if you were accused of a crime, you're going to jail. That's how it works. You're guilty until proven innocent.
Really? That's not the way it
Let's see,
works in Phoenix, right?
that's because Phoenix Wright is Jamaica.
Yeah, that's right. They burgers. Gosh. They made an anime out of that
Japanese
and a manga besides from the video games and a movie. Holy crap. What a wonderful media.
Japan has a conviction rate of over 99%, most of which are secured on the back of a confession.
You're
It is
kidding.
also seen as a chance to give the suspect to unburden his guilt and repent for his crimes. That's another thing. In Japan, it's very heavy on like who did
Honor.
this. Um, it's honor, yeah. Uh, and another thing, this is super anime and Persona 5.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone's played like the first hour of Persona 5, it starts with your character getting taken in by the police for
Yeah.
being a vigilante and helping change the world. You get beaten to a pulp, injected with tons of drugs, and then they force you to sign your own confession at the threat of breaking your arm. From what I've seen and from what I've heard and from what I've researched, because that and Death Note got me interested in this, that's very realistic to how things are handled in Japan.
That's crazy.
Like it's very thuggish compared to like um Britain where if you're lucky the criminal doesn't have a gun and then the cops also don't have guns, so it's like stop or else I'm gonna have to yell stop again.
In the name of the queen.
In the name of the queen. Oi, oi, look at that lad. That lad he's getting away.
Oh.
Oh no, it's tea time. We all better stop and drink our tea.
So I think you mentioned it earlier, but I gotta say, out of the entirety of Death Note, my favorite scene is the potato chip scene for
Yes.
a variety of reasons, but that was just one of the best written parts ever. Do you have any other favorite scenes or little parts of it?
I liked when Light had their last moment like on the roof in the rain,
Mm-hmm.
not for gay reasons, because um it drew upon so first of all, little bit of backstory. In the opening, you see a lot of like really common Christian themes and
Really?
stuff, like the picture of Ryuk giving Light the apple is the same as the
Right. The
creation
first
of
sin.
man. Uh,
Yeah.
but in the opening, a lot of the art looks like art that was in the Sistine Chapel, which is really cool. But they've like changed the characters and stuff. But one thing that everyone latches onto is the scene where L gives Light a foot massage.
What?
Um,
Oh my god.
most people latch onto that scene because um L they ship L and Light. I can kind of maybe see that. But the main reason why I think that's impressive is because in the Bible, when uh right before Jesus was taken to be crucified,
Yeah.
he washed all of his apostles' feet, and one of those would have been Judas. So L was washing the feet of the man who would eventually lead to his death. And at that scene, he says one of the best lines in the entire show.
Wow.
Going, it's going to be lonely, won't it? We will soon be parting ways.
Holy crap.
Because
That's awesome.
because that was right before L was going to do the experiment that would 100% convict Light as Kira. And then Light was just about to kill L. So no matter the outcome of that, they would have been parting ways. And then Light went on to say um, in the following episodes, what's the point of doing this if I don't have an equal to battle me in a game of wits? Something like that. He's bored now. He's gotten what he's wanted. He's made his new world
Yeah.
because there's like a dip of 7 years after L dies before Mello and Nier show up.
He's playing
Um,
Minecraft creative mode and that's it.
yeah,
It's not fun.
no, it's like when you have a server and you have one player that is like your equal. You both have enchanted diamond armor and stuff, and then and then you finally kill him, take gear, and then he leaves the server. So you finally bested your opponent. There's no point anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I take it back. That is my favorite.
Okay.
The rain and all of L's like dying things.
What about you, Jordan?
Like one of the scenes I remember most is when they're in the hotel room looking over surveillance,
Mm-hmm.
and L's just like essentially stuffing his face with like these pastries or something like that. He's like, if I die in the next couple of days, Light is 100% Kira.
Oh yeah, because that just comes out of nowhere, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it comes out of nowhere.
'Cause it's right when they're and the funny thing is he's right because the next day Light shows up to school with Misa. Misa has the eyes, and then they arrest Misa. So he would have died, and Light would have been convicted as Kira.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
and then how I kind of like the end, like the ending before, like when Light gets put under the what is it, the like quarantine type
Oh yeah, where they
to
seal
prove
him
that
up.
he wasn't Kira.
Yeah.
He made Misa give up ownership of the Death Note, so then it could be transferred to the fourth guy who would have had it,
Yeah.
and
No,
then
the third
no, third
guy,
guy,
the
yeah, third
businessman.
guy. Sorry, and then he buries his Death Note and relinquishes ownership, so then he won't have the memory, have a chance of possibly slipping up.
And also, he just like instinctively always wears the same watch, which is the one that has the Death Note piece in it.
That was awesome. That when
That helicopter
the
scene was
helicopter scene.
cool but weird because first of
Yeah.
all, you see Watari in like a SWAT outfit with a sniper rifle hitting
Yeah.
pinpoint shots like he's a gold pro player in CS:GO. Uh, also, when L first hears the word Shinigami, he has a full-on panic attack and falls out of his chair. Then when he first sees a Shinigami, he's like, "Oh, that's oi, look at that bloke. He looks sort of odd. Look at that
and then
odd-looking fellow over there."
and I just like Light's reaction after he handles the Death Note. He just starts screaming as he's remembering all the memories that he had that was
And
tied
then
to the
and
Death
then
Note.
L plays it off like, well, I guess that guy would scare anyone, wouldn't it? Um. Also, one thing that I noticed, uh, Ite's dad dies super duper early on in the end game of the show.
Yeah.
Uh, there's that whole scheme where he has to trade for the eyes, and then he dies the same day that he made the trade, meaning no matter what, he would have died the day after. 'Cause it's like
Yeah.
half of your
Yeah.
lifespan.
That's
And
crazy.
the whole point of that was to go in and kill Mello, too.
Yeah.
Which they were using the Death Note to their advantage to get ahead in their investigation.
That's another thing that plays off of the ends justifying the means.
And
Or the
then,
police use the Death Note to solve their.
Yeah. Wow. What a great show. What a great set of shows. Um, so I will take a look at the time. It looks like we've been going for about 40 minutes now. So I don't know. What you guys have any
There's
like
one.
anything
There's
else you want to
a
talk
little
about?
closing thing that I do on my podcast. Um, what have you guys been watching, playing, or doing recently? Like
Yeah.
shows or games or something?
So I've been going through The Last of Us 2. That's been pretty fun. Right now, I'm doing a little bit of puzzle solving. Trying to find out where the I'm in Seattle, so not too far in the game, but it's just been kind of a chill, thing. I like how it's still The Last of Us, but a lot of the UI is cleaner, it's fresher, so that's good. And then I've been
It's like,
watching um,
go ahead.
Kaguya-sama Love is War season 2, so that's been good. Um, yeah, I don't know, nothing much.
Yeah.
So, Jordan?
So I've been playing Smite a lot recently.
Oh, with the new Avatar update.
Yeah, the new Avatar update. I've been playing a lot of Susano, which is Zuko, and I've been playing a bit of Scotty, who is Korra,
Mm-hmm.
but I have not unlocked Aang yet, who is at level 60 of the Battle Pass. So
That's
that's
awesome.
gonna take a while to get to. And I've also been playing Dead by Daylight as well.
That's good. What about you, Chris?
Well, as most people know, Persona 4 recently released on Steam. So I've been playing through that. I just recently got Chie on my team. She's the third party member in the game.
She is
Um,
literally the best. Like, the best. Maybe not, game mechanics wise, but I will tell you right now, she's the best character in all of Persona 4.
no, I gotta go Broske. Broske and Naoto. But no, I do like Chie. Chie is my waifu in that game. Um, but I've also been playing Halo Master Chief Collection on PC.
Did 3 just drop?
He just dropped yesterday.
Nice.
As did Season 2, which added Forge and customization for Halo Combat Evolved. And you can change your visor color,
No
weapon
way.
skins, skins for multiplayer.
That's awesome.
They also
Hmm.
overhauled the progression system, so now you can unlock with one season point. You can unlock anything in the bracket that you're in the season, and you can still go back to the Halo Reach season if you want to. You don't have to unlock the CE stuff. I'm probably not going to because I don't play a lot of Combat Evolved multiplayer. Um, and you can now get season points by doing challenges, the same stuff that would just give you experience in Halo Reach or Halo 4 Classic.
Yeah.
But I now have 68 hours on Halo. I've also been playing some Destiny 2 and Far Cry 3. Those games are fun. As for shows, Avatar, obviously. And once I finish that, I'm going to start watching more Ghibli movies because I've only seen one, and that was when I was like 7.
Wait, which one?
Ponyo.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Sounds good. But so far, I have bought Ponyo and Spirited Away, and I'm going to be watching those as soon as I'm done with Avatar.
Good. All right. Well, this has been good. Is there anything you want to plug? Any like social medias that you want anyone to follow? I'll be sure to put them in the description as well.
I'm pretty cagey about my Instagram account, and I don't know if by the time this is going up, if Fulcrum Entertainment will be a thing. Probably not. So don't worry about me, Jordan.
My YouTube channel, which I only have one video up right now, but I'm looking to upload more onto that once I get the time to.
Cool. Well, thank you, everyone. This has been a great time so far. And, yeah, I'm sure we'll see you in the future. All right.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you.